All right. Before I think we're up live. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna go on YouTube right now. Oh boy. I'm gonna go on YouTube and make sure that's the case. Yeah, we're live right now. We're live.
Awesome.
Hold on one second. Let me send this. No, then we'll get right into it. If you have anybody you want to send it to, I'll let you do that. I'll send you the link. All right. Alrighty. I don't think I have time to upload a thumbnail, so we will just.
Okay.
Actually, we have nobody's on yet. I will see if I can. I did make one. All right, hold on one second. Wonder if I can.
Do you have your air on tonight?
You mean like the AC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ate Matt.
Yeah, I do.
Made us turn ours on, so that's why I ask. I tried fighting her, but for nobody knows,
right.
who's nothing.
All right, we can get rolling. We'll do a thumbnail for next time. Something I heard that I think is a great thing that's helped me a lot is they say perfection is the enemy of good. So when you're trying to perfect things, you're going over the top. You can waste too much time. Just do good. Just do good. But all right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Alyssa for stopping on by. But yeah, so to start, we're gonna roll down with a few different topics. I threw it in the description, threw it in the title. But let's start with the Bucks first and foremost. We have Tyler returning to the show here. But yeah, Tyler. Actually, before we do that, Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Life is good. Glad to be back on. Interesting sports topics to talk about here, so I'm ready to get into it. Get in the thick of things here.
All right, let's go. So the first thing is the Bucks. They're down 3-1 right now, and the first thing I got a few different things I want to talk about here, but the first thing is the Chris Middleton Kyle Kuzma trade. All right, just give me your thoughts on that to start.
Yeah. I to be honest, it sounds like it just kind of canceled itself out. I mean, Middleton's health has been in jeopardy for the last couple of years, I would say. So I think the idea of the Bucks trying to get a little younger and trying to get at least some from Middleton was add to that roster and get some youth and maybe some size as well. I don't think it's panned out the way the Bucks initially thought. I think a lot of things haven't panned out the way the Bucks initially thought with some other things, but that's just my 2 cents. I don't think he's really helped us out too much. And at this point, I'm starting to think maybe we just should have kept Middleton. But like I said, I think they both kind of canceled themselves out, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I just, the big thing with me is I think that Middleton is a guy who struggled with his health, but come playoff time, he would have done more than what Kuzma's doing right now. Kuzma is just a guy. He's one of those guys who's putting up big numbers on terrible teams like the Wizards. But he never really has done too much on a contender, unless he wasn't on that Lakers championship squad, was he?
I'm not sure. It's a great question. Actually, I want to say he was, but
well, then maybe I'm in the wrong, but. When you put up big numbers on the Wizards, we've seen that over years where guys put up big numbers, but I mean, it's on a team that's not competitive. And then once they come over to a more competitive team, they come down to earth. But then Damian Lillard last night, he popped his Achilles most likely. He's roughly your age. He's getting up there a little bit. He's roughly your age. So turning 35 in July. Is he toast? Is he going to come? I mean, what does that look like, you think, for his career prospects moving forward?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of prisoner of the moment kind of reaction, kind of Monday morning quarterback per se. But it's truly unfortunate. Part of me thinks that he was medically cleared. Did they rush him back? I mean, Achilles at 35. When did Durant, tear his Achilles? Was that around the same? Maybe he was around 30, 31, but nonetheless, yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know how he's obviously going to come back. Is he going to be the same player? Probably not.
No.
I was talking with some other people today about, how does this factor into Giannis's future too? I mean, what are the next steps for him? I know he's loyal to Milwaukee. Does he request a trade here in the near future? Is it best for both parties? Probably going to get backlash for this, but is it best for both parties, the Bucks and Giannis, to maybe go their separate ways? Still a superstar talent, generational player, but I think it's something to think about, more than ever right now. But we'll definitely see. Time will tell.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I think it's obvious he is not going to be the same at 35. You don't come back from that kind of injury as the same player. This was kind of the end of his prime, so I understand pushing it. I don't think he should have pushed it in the first place. Like, you get a blood clot. I mean, there's different levels to how intense they can be, but you get a blood clot and come back in the matter of weeks. I mean, Monday morning quarterbacking, everything in hindsight's 2020, but I just coming back so quickly. I understand you're in win now. You're at the end of your prime. You're 34 years old, turning 35 soon. You want to win now, but gosh, it's just a terrible, terrible ending. And something else relating to the Bucks is Doc Rivers, a guy who I have for many years I think he's a total fraud. I don't think he's a good coach. He is resting on his laurels from the 2008 championship with the Celtics, where all of the superstars were in their early 30s. Like Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, all those guys knew how to win. All of them were in their lower 30s. And then their young guy, their point guard, Rondo, is one of the smartest guys ever to play the game. So I could have coached that team to an NBA title. And I know people who told me, Matt, I hope the Bucks bring in Doc Rivers. That's the guy I want at the helm. And that's just absurdly idiotic to me. He's had like some moments where he's been decent. Like, he had a Clippers squad probably like 5 years ago that overperformed and made the playoffs, and I think we're competitive as an 8 seed, but he's just not a good coach. I think that's proven by now, and I think he should be canned at the end of this year. But the dude has the most 3-1 leads that he's blown in NBA history, and he's also has the most Game 7 losses in NBA history. The dude, I mean, he should just move out to California and go make some more commercials with Emhoff and just move on. I don't think he's the right fit for the Bucks. But yeah, what do you think? Should we can Doc Rivers?
Yeah, we should have canned him when the Bucks lost Game 1 in this series. I mean, I saw some people talking, can you fire a head coach midway through a series? I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know if that would change the outcome, but nonetheless, I mean, the Bucks have just not figured it out after winning that championship. Going through coaches, Adrian Griffin, Coach Bud, and now I did not like the hire from the get-go with Doc. I mean, his track record, even in Philly before this, was just not very good. And he just struggles with lineups, even with this series with Brook Lopez. Should have sat him to start the game and worked in Sims there, but he's got to go. I mean, just realm scheme of things, the Bucks got to blow this all up if they want to be competitive down the road, and if they want to keep Giannis around. I don't see many teams lining up to trade or acquire guys like Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton and a couple of those other guys. So they need to get younger, but it starts from the top. It starts from the top too. They just extended Horst, and when's the last time John Horst made a good draft pick? You got to build through the draft, and does it all fall on Doc? No, it doesn't. It starts at the top and it works its way down. So there's a lot of blame to go around, but Doc needs to go, and I think they need to move on here. Going forward.
Well, you look at what Budenholzer did with the Bucks. The fears he was there, or he was there for a decent amount of time. But when he was there, like the records consistently were really good. And I'm not saying he was perfect, but the grass isn't always greener. And then even what was it, Adrian Griffith? like he couldn't coach, but I think the Bucks record is like 30-13 with him. Doc Rivers' record with the Bucks is like close to 500. It's crazy. Like he's
I don't know why they gave up on Adrian Griffin to begin with. I mean, the record was good. Honestly, I think there was some confrontation with Giannis making that decision and having some insight on that. So I think they listened to Giannis more than people think, and I think maybe Giannis wanted to bring Doc in. Who knows? Speculation, but Adrian Griffin. What did he get? Half a season. That. So I'm looking at it right now. You're correct. He was 30-13, which is wild to let go of a coach going 30-13.
Yeah, he might have not passed the eye test, though. That's one thing. He might have not passed the eye test with how things were flowing. But they were winning, though. A win's a win. Ugly win, pretty win. A win's a win. When he bring in Doc Rivers, I just think that's one of the all-time dumb hires. So that's the Bucks' fault. I mean, is what it is. But I hope – I don't know how the contract situation works this summer, but I hope they can move on. But we'll talk about a little Shedeur Sanders. We're going to talk Shannon Sharpe. We'll talk Paul Chavez Jr. A little bit more NBA here is a team that I am a believer in, and a team that I'm excited to see doing well. And this is gonna rub people the wrong way. Is I'm a Clippers guy. Like I'm a James Harden. I'm a Kawhi Leonard guy. James Harden. A lot of people, yes, is he perfect? No, but I give him a pass solely by what he did in the 2018 NBA Finals the Western Conference Finals against Golden State, when he took on Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, the super team that no one could beat. James Harden, the way he played in that series, forget Game 7. I know that wasn't good, but the way he played in that series made me a fan forever. So I've given him a pass for all the stops he's made and all the drama he's created and the lack of rings. I give him a pass because he played like a winner in that series, and they would have beaten the Golden State super team in 2018 had Chris Paul not gone down in Game 6. I'm a guy. I'm a Harden fan, and so I've been checking them out lately, and I'm actually like pleasantly surprised. They're tough. Like the Clippers are actually tough. They have solid role players. The big fella down low he's hitting his prime. He's 27, and he's paired well with Harden, Zubac, and then you got good role players like Chris Dunn. That's the kind of guy, kind of that pit bull mentality. That's the kind of guy you want as a role player. And then, obviously Kawhi. I'm also a Kawhi guy. Like both Harden and Kawhi, for Harden's faults, the dude just loves the club and play basketball. That's all he does. I mean, he might be going to places he shouldn't be going to at 3 a.m, but he never once told me how to think. He never once has just been obnoxious, like outside of the world of sports. So that's made me like Harden. I like Harden because of that. And then Kawhi Leonard, I just like that dog mentality he has. So the Clippers, I don't know. What do you think about the Clippers? Do you think they're real? Contenders?
When healthy, very dangerous and healthy. I use that term strongly because we know Kawhi Leonard's past. He's had some injury, situations, but Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, I think is the best two-way player in the NBA. Still to this day, offensively, defensively, both sides of the court. You know what you're getting with Kawhi, and the Clippers are dangerous, especially when you got a healthy Kawhi. I mean, anything is possible. Veteran leadership, veteran scorer, has been there before, knows how to get to the finals with that Toronto team. So if he can stay healthy, I think they get by Denver, especially with Denver's coaching situation and. I don't really know what's going on with that, but I think they get past Denver, and then not unfortunately, but they got OKC they got to go through, and I don't know if they get past OKC. They're a juggernaut, but that'll also be another great series. So if the Clippers do eventually move on, but it's going to come down to Harden, and it's going to come down to Kawhi and how much they can carry that that team.
Yeah. How we doing? Appreciate you stopping by. But yeah, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, those guys have both aged quite well, like with their level of play right now. But You know who didn't age well is Paul George. And we talked about this a lot. I'm obsessed with how athletes age, how some guys at 35 are studs, how some guys at 35 are totally washed. Some guys at 30 are totally washed. So I always find that interesting. Harden looks like the same, pretty similar Harden. I mean, he's not dunking like he used to, but the dude can still get to the hoop and at an extremely high level. He's got that burst still. Kawhi still looks like the same Kawhi. But Paul George, that was addition by subtraction. Like, losing Paul George is, I think, a big reason why, and Westbrook too. Westbrook, losing Westbrook also helped a little bit too. But I really think Paul George, despite the numbers he put up, that dude just is totally over the hill. For being the same age as James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, yeah, he just doesn't have it anymore. He lost his fastball a long time. I don't even know if you want him as a role player. I really don't. I don't know if he can be
not for what you're paying him. Definitely not.
No.
I mean,
I'd rather have Nick Batum. Give me Nick Batum.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, it's just these knee issues too. Chris Middleton's kind of in the same category, same age bracket, and once these knees are shot, these guys are done. It's unfortunate, but
it's reality.
It's just the reality of things. You got to stay healthy. I mean, look at LeBron. Got to take care of your body, and I know these guys do take care of their bodies, but it's who can stay healthiest, the longest, especially when you get in your mid-30s. I can speak to that. It's all about staying healthy and taking care of yourself, and you'll feel better. But yeah, once you start having knee issues, you can kiss your career goodbye, and we're seeing it from a lot of different guards. So.
Yeah, and then pivoting to the next topic I want to talk about is Shedeur Sanders. Hopefully I spelled his name right there, but Shedeur Sanders, he obviously that was the big storyline. That's what got people intrigued who weren't even like that intrigued in the draft, is Shedeur Sanders and the slide he had. I would just say, for me, it's impossible to know the mindset of every GM, but the way I see it is he's probably not a first-round talent, and this is how simple I think it is. Like, things aren't always as simple, but I think he's probably not a first-round talent. And then NFL teams and people who think he's getting, like, blacklisted or something like that, or there's collusion around the NFL to teach, like, Deion Sanders and Shedeur a lesson. I just don't think so. Like, I think he's not a first-round pick. And because of that, you're probably looking at him as a backup. And the last thing teams will put up with is a circus at your backup quarterback position. Like, teams will put up with a lot, like Deion Sanders, like that guy, like he was similar to Shedeur. He had a huge following, but his talents outweighed his problems and the circus that followed him. If your talent can outweigh your problems, you're fine. But I think it's simply Shedeur's talent didn't outweigh his problems or the media attention that he brings and dealing with the dad with Deion Sanders. And so I think it's as simple as that. So teams, when you're looking for a backup quarterback, you probably don't want Shedeur. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like, I'm not really nitpicking, but I mean, I wonder if Colorado's backstepping, retiring that Shedeur Sanders jersey now. I mean, you retire a jersey, you go 13-12, and you retire. I honestly don't get it, and it honestly that just compounds everything. It just makes it look even worse. I mean, you retired a guy's jersey and he went in the 5th round. Was it the 5th round? I think it was the 5th round.
Yeah.
But he's a wild card. Personally, I wasn't a big fan. Set aside all of like Deion's, like, having that circus like you brought up. I just I didn't see it from Shedeur. I didn't see the flashes. I saw some mechanics that obviously can be cleaned up, but that I didn't like. But it'll be interesting. I mean, Cleveland might have gotten a steal in the 5th round. I don't know. A lot of quarterbacks go there to die. It's just tough to say, but I don't want anything. I don't want to part anything with that circus. There's just too much baggage that comes along with it. And I think a lot of teams saw that and deferred. So.
Yeah, no, and he's not going to start over Joe Flacco. That's one thing I could tell you. If you're trying to win, I know they're in rebuild mode. If you want to win, Flacco's that guy, man. I will die on that hill. Flacco's my guy. He's still a very elite quarterback in my eyes. Give him a good situation. At least he's got a few elite performances in him. I don't know if he's got it in him to consistently do it, but the dude, if you give him like a spot start here and there, he's gonna pop off for 300 to 400 yards out of nowhere, and it'll surprise everybody, but not me. It won't surprise me. And Big Buck, if you're still there, Big Buck, send this live to the rest of the squad. Send this live to the rest of the squad. But moving on to the next topic I got is, and I think I can take this one. Just let me create the banner real quick. But Shannon Sharpe, Shannon Sharpe. If you want to add anything, you can. But I'll take this one. So this one is a real hot topic right now, and I'm not gonna get myself into trouble with anything I say here. But for me, I don't even think this is a criminal thing. I think this is a civil case where, like, if he did it, I hope he pays for it. But here's the thing I just want to harp on. It's a terrible accusation, and it's terrible if he did it. But just the stupidity of Shannon Sharpe at 54 years old to see a 19-year-old, OnlyFans model, like, to think there's any way that relationship ends in a positive note for you is just unbelievably stupid. Like, I just don't get, like, you just got to be a little smarter than that. You got to use the head up here. No one knows what happens, but just putting yourself in that situation, I just can't believe he did that. Shannon Sharpe is just acting like a total clown. In another interview I saw where he was talking about another girl where he's dancing around and laughing. It was just odd behavior. He's got a long HR file allegedly that got wiped off the face of the internet as he mounted up all his success. Apparently, a lot of what he did in the past got wiped off the internet, but now it's coming back out. And ESPN took a big risk bringing Shannon Sharpe in. But yeah, it's just weird behavior. He's got to grow up, and he's got to find someone who's just a little bit closer in age. Maybe start with 30 and above. Probably don't go after the 19-year-old. Like, that's just not going to end well for you. Tyler, do you have anything, or you want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of echoing what you said. I mean, career's over with. I mean, he's already backed out of ESPN. It's the beginning of the end for Shannon. These streamers, they're making more than the athletes now, and it's just the way things are, in media, and it's they know what they're doing is wrong. They don't think they're ever going to get caught, and to be doing this with OnlyFans, I mean, you're walking in mud at that point. It's just going to catch up with you. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But do I feel bad? Not really. So.
No, he did it to himself, and we'll move off of that one. And we'll move off of that one. But just absurdly stupid. And then the next topic I got, and this is more up my wheelhouse, so I'll take this one. So, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake Paul, that fight's been announced. The betting line started at minus 300. Now it's minus 1,000 in favor of Jake Paul. Julio Cesar Chavez is 39 years old. Jake Paul is 28. Jake tried setting up these massive fights where he was trying to capitalize off of fighting Mike Tyson, trying to get another massive event, but the fights fell through. He should have got this fight done earlier, I think, where he fights Chavez Jr. before Chavez turns 39. I would have fought him when he was 38. Just looks a little bit better, but I just think Jake's going to smash him. Father Time, undefeated. Chavez Jr. has a history with substance abuse, and he's not going to have to come up big in weight. Because he was big. I saw him in person in Tampa, Florida. Chavez was pretty big for that fight last July in Jake Paul's undercard. But, Jake, his physique is starting to look kind of scary. He's getting bigger. He's getting faster. He's getting stronger. He's much more durable. Pure skill is the only thing Chavez has an advantage on in this fight with his 54-7 record, I think, now. But that's the only advantage Chavez Jr. has in this fight. Otherwise, Jake has all the other advantages, and I think Jake is just going to run through him, knock him out. But yeah, I mean, Tyler, based off just what you heard, Chavez Jr. 39, Jake Paul 28. Chavez has a history of substance abuse, but has a long history of boxing. He used to fight at a much lighter weight. Any thoughts there, just by what you hear there?
Yeah, you got to go with the youth. Yeah, going to take Jake Paul on that. I mean, I hear 39, substance abuse. I mean, I'm 35, and I would take any guy who's under 30 to beat me in any kind of fight. But, yeah, probably just quickness and agility. I mean, yeah, I'd take Jake Paul.
But you know what's an interesting fight getting in the world of boxing? Usyk, Alexander Usyk, Ukrainian, 38 years old, in his last fight ever, is fighting a guy who's 27, Daniel Dubois, from the UK. And Usyk, I think, has a chance to go down as the greatest heavyweight, or one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But just like a year or two ago, at age 36, and Dubois was like 24, 25, he knocked out Dubois. He knocked him out, and yeah, I mean, I think Usyk's going to beat him in July. I certainly hope he does. I'm a big fan of Usyk. I respect that he's a man of God. I respect his humility. I respect how he just goes about his business. So I hope Usyk takes care of business. But that's a fight where I think the 38-year-old is going to beat the 27-year-old. Like, I'm very, very cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic that Usyk will take care of business like he did last time. So, and boxing's an interesting sport where the guys, you don't necessarily have to, like, some of the older guys are the best ones in the sport yet to this day. So it's an interesting thing. But I think those are all the topics I have. We've talked about Bucks, talked a little Doc Rivers, Shannon Sharpe, Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if there's anything else. I think next time when we do this live, we should send it out, and I should promote this on the socials. I think this has the potential to be a banger, but I thought this was a solid first episode. I like the live aspect. Tyler, you got anything else?
No, not anymore. Interested to see what other sports topics come up in the meantime. So it gives us something to talk about. But it's been very eventful, and especially with the draft and NBA ball, and got the more playoffs and the NBA draft coming up. So there'll be plenty more to talk about. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll ask you one more thing. Because you're a big Packer guy. And if you go back, I doubt anybody will, but if you go back to Tyler and I did a video right before the season, like we did 2 or 3 videos together. But Tyler made his predictions for fantasy football in the season, and like every single one came true. It was actually absurd. like you made like 5 predictions and they all came true, and they weren't the obvious things. Like you made some granular picks. And you were correct. So props to you there. I'll ask you, what do you think about the Packers draft?
It was pretty good. I mean, it was good. It wasn't great. I mean, you Packer fans, obviously, they drafted a wide receiver the first time since 2002, I believe.
Javon Walker, baby.
Yep. And the draft, I mean, I watched it all weekend. What a turnout in Green Bay. Once in a lifetime kind of thing. I didn't end up going up there, unfortunately, but and then they went and drafted a tackle, huge human being. I think he was like 6'6", like 336. I mean, I can't imagine, like, just a huge human being. But again, Packers really get more stout on the offensive line, and then going back in the 3rd round, I think it was 3rd round, going back and get another wide receiver. Obviously, getting Matthew Golden with the first pick, but it just goes to show you that I don't think Gutekunst is too satisfied with that wide receiver room, which is surprising. And interested. I don't think he's going to stay, and I know it's a big topic in Green Bay, but Jair Alexander, haven't really got rid of him yet. I still think they're probably going to release him. So it'll be interesting the next couple months here how this Packers team is really going to shape up, how this, the formation of this roster going forward. So. Yeah.
And one thing I know a decent amount of people who ended up going to the draft, and that's something I didn't understand. Like, what's so fun about being packed like sardines, like super far away from the stage in the rain? Like I just don't get it. Like no one is watching the draft like just locked in on the draft. Like you change the channel and you come back in 15 minutes and then you watch for a little bit, see what, and then you leave. Like I understand, and some people told me it was really fun, like the media hoopla, like just seeing all the different media, all the people in Green Bay. But like the event itself, like just doesn't sound like that exciting to me. But I think just having all the focus on Green Bay is cool. Like I think that's cool.
It was really cool. But I talked to somebody else like, what are the pros and what are the cons of going to a draft? It sounds exciting, like on paper, but like, you know, traveling. I mean, I heard there was like a porta potty situation that I just don't see the pros in it. I'd rather just sit from the comfort of my own home and have a beer or two and enjoy it that way. But teach their own. I'm not gonna knock out people for going because I'm sure it was a cool experience. But yeah, especially when you add a little cold rain up in Green Bay. Sure, it can get. I've been in cold rain in here in Wisconsin. It can get pretty miserable. So
yeah, no, cold rain's the worst.
But
cold rain's the absolute worst. Yeah. No, and then I saw a video where like I don't know if it was a streamer or something, but this dude just always sticks around at like events, waits for everyone to clear out, and then he will like just explore the venue. And this guy just, I don't know, did you see that video?
I did not know.
So the guy just recorded it. It was just like, I'm going to stick around, you know, once everyone disperses, and I'm just try to get back into like the green room and stuff. And he did. Like he was walking down that tunnel where like all the players did. He went to the green room. He was up on the stage, like talking at the podium and stuff. Like less than 45 minutes after the event cleared up, the dude just casually went and got up on stage like that. I don't know. I think it just goes to show you if you're confident in life, you can get a lot of places. Like much of life is just confidence. Like I know there's multiple people in my life who can just spit utter nonsense, but they say it confidently and people will believe them. And I've caught people in the past.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And I know that's so cliche, but it's so true. Like sometimes you just got to take a chance. Sometimes you just got to take a leap of faith, and it may not work out, and sometimes it does. And a lot of times you learn from it, and it carries on to your next, shot you take. So
are you saying like just like BS your way through life? Is that kind of the takeaway you're going?
Yeah, however you want to look at it. Hey, fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah, that's real. It's real. Yeah, and you're in sales, and I think about that a little bit because I had experience where I work with some salesmen, and we really got along well with them, and we were having a blast, and we're toasting and all that, and I'm like, do these guys actually like us, or is it just they're trying to make us feel good, Like it's always in the back of my head, like when dealing with that stuff, like. I really like this guy, but I don't know if they're just totally BSing right now,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that as a salesman?
I'm not the BS type. I mean, I've learned to just talk to people, be yourself. I mean, stand out from other salesmen, but just talk. I mean, sometimes just listen. I mean, I'm dealing with small businesses, and sometimes they just want to they want to be heard. They want to talk about their problems, and you have a solution for them. But just talk to them like normal people, and they'll talk to they'll give you the time of day. I mean, a lot of business owners and a lot of people can they can kind of shift through the BS sometimes. So in the end, it's best just to be yourself. So
yeah, no, and I think that's a good place to leave off. But I do think this live stream has a lot of potential. So anyone who's a new listener, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on the playback, I really appreciate it. But we just hopped up. We just hopped up a little bit. But yeah, we talked about Bucks. We talked some boxing. We talked about Doc Rivers and his fraudulence. We talked Shannon Sharpe, Shedeur Sanders. I'm trying to think if there's any other topics in the sports world. The last one, the last one I'll do is just who do you think's going to win the NBA Finals right now? Like, who's your pick to win the NBA Finals?
That's tough. I'm gonna stick with, I think, OKC. They just had.
No, they're too young. They're too young.
Too young. They were
too young.
I don't know. They were there.
This is a man's game. This is a man's game.
Yeah.
Look what happened when you and me played those high school kids today in 2-on-2. Or they're college freshmen. You know, it's a man's game. You and me, we got a little bit more of this. We got a little bit more of that, and we took care of them like that. That's and the NBA is even more of that. Basketball's a man's game.
It's a young man's game.
No, it's a man's game. It's a man's game. Like you.
I mean, if not OKC, I mean my second pick. I mean, I have them. I think they're coming out of the West, and then I think it's going to be Boston again coming out of the East. It's got to be Boston.
Well, I think Boston, because they have some grown men on their team.
Yeah.
They have some grown men like Tatum. Like that. He's 27. He's in his prime. Brown's 28, 29. You got Horford, who's like 37. You got Holiday, who's like 35. You got Tingus Pingus, who's like 30. So, I mean, you look at all that. And then, oh, gosh, who's the bald shooter? White, that guy's like 30-something. Like, that's a grown man's team. That's a physically solid team. You know, so that's the kind of team that I think's going to win. I think OKC will win one, but they're too young right now. Like, yeah, there's something about experience, and I'm telling you what, your era of hoopers, like the guys who are like from 33 to 37 years old right now, they're aging tremendously. Outside of Paul George, Paul George has aged horrendously. Like Paul George, he's having a rough time with it. But you look at Steph Curry, you look at Kevin Durant. I know he's not in the picture. But you look at Harden, you look at Kawhi, and there's other guys I'm missing in that era, and they are just aging tremendously. And I think their physicality, their savviness, those are the guys I'm not gonna sleep on.
You have your Clippers going all the way. I got this
all the way, guaranteed,
okay.
Guaranteed.
Bold, but
but they got to get by another. But here's the thing: they got to get by another grown man's team, the Nuggets. Like that's a grown man's team too. You got Murray; he's like 28. You know, Jokic is 30. They got other vets around him. Like that. I love both teams. I wish they didn't play each other in the first round because if they were on opposite sides of the brackets, I would have them playing each other, and winner of that makes the finals. That's how I would see it. But. Yeah. So basically, I'm an age guy. Like you can't be totally washing over the hill, but like as long as you still got it and you got that experience, you got that physicality, that's who I lean towards. Yeah,
I think that's not a bad prediction. I mean, it was that series 2-2 now. I mean, it's probably going to go 7. So, yeah. I mean, I still take OKC, but.
Like Tyler, like you're in that era. I'd gladly go to war with you over a 19-year-old any day.
Yeah.
2-on-2. Easy.
What was I telling you the other day? I was like, when we were just kind of shooting around, I was like, you know, if I could play my high school self now, like that person might be a little quicker, but strength wise, it wouldn't even be a game. It's just the strength that just. A man versus a boy, like there's a huge difference, and that's why even at the college level, you see some of these teams, like Houston, like they just have grown men on their team, and that's just how they kind of made it and won it, and but you see it in every level. So
and it beat Duke's youth. Duke choked down the stretch with 2 freshmen leading the way in a generational. Like they were the exception, not the rule. Duke was the exception with Cooper Flagg leading the way. Like that guy's a generational talent, and he led them to a Final Four. And if you run that tournament back, maybe they could win a championship, but we'll never know. But even with a generational talent, the age won out. So that's just kind of the way I see things. And then I'll officially wrap it up. I think when I was ready to wrap it up these past times, we kind of had like just a little bit of a jump in viewership. So I was like, all right, we'll keep going a little bit. We'll keep going. But no, I think that's a good note to end on. This was a very solid episode. For the lives moving forward, like we're going to call it like it is, you know, especially me. You know, Tyler might play it a little closer to the vest. I don't know, maybe not. But I'm going to call it like it is moving forward, and I'm not going to be tiptoeing over what I say, just gonna have fun with it. And then the last thing, you know, here we go. We got a comment here. Trade Giannis for 1 pick and draft plus lots, or get KD and see what happens. Hey, Badger man, I totally am on board for trading for Kevin Durant. Like, we're talking about, that grown man's game and the physicality and just the savviness. Like, KD, it's a little nervous. Like, that's truly like a Kawhi situation where Kawhi Leonard last year, or not last year, in 2019 when they beat the Bucks, like, that was a 1 year. All right, we're going to try seeing if we can win it this year. And it worked out for them. But if they didn't win it all, that trade, getting rid of DeRozan, would have been bad. So I think that'd be fun to watch. I would love it because I'm not too attached to Giannis to the Bucks, which some people might, that might make them sad. But I do respect Giannis. I hope he sticks around. But that would be hilarious to watch. I think Kevin Durant, you're truly trying to win now because I think he'll be 37 next year. So I don't think that's the best move. Tyler?
I don't know. I mean, I talked about it today, and as time goes on, I was actually forced to send a group chat, and I was like, like I brought up before, trade Giannis. What are you going to get for Giannis? Are you going to get a bunch of first round, 30, pick 30? But I don't know how you acquire a guy like KD. I mean, if you trade Dame, maybe the Bucks don't have the assets. I mean, we could get Kevin Durant. Does it put us over the hump? I just don't know. I mean, we're talking again.
You need more.
You're getting older again. I mean, I think we're going the wrong way. I think we got to get younger. We have to get some younger guys, some younger talent. And, I didn't bring this up, but like, Horst made it good with Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, younger player kind of took a leap of faith there, but it ended up working out. A little younger, a little quicker. But at this point, I really don't know. It's a lot has to shake up. A lot is going to determine on Dame, what he's going to look like and what's going to happen with him moving forward. But KD would be a nice addition. I still think you need more. So
yeah, no, I agree. Definitely need more. And I like seeing like a legend stick around as long as he can at a certain spot. Like, I like loyalty both ways. I love to see that. And I told Tyler this recently, but I'm a huge Devin Harris guy. Like, that Devin Harris was my like childhood hero. I freaking got the NBA package to watch my boy Devin Harris, one of the most underrated hoopers at all time. Please don't at me. No Devin Harris slander will be tolerated in the comments. But here's what I got to say. With watching Devin Harris, I watched a ton of old Dirk Nowitzki. And my gosh, like, the loyalty to a man who was so washed up, total opposite. They got rid of Luka. You know what Luka's problem is? Luka should be the best player in the NBA. He should be. But the guy, if he could just put down the beer, put down the potato chips, the French fries, he would be the best player in the league. He did things his rookie year that he can't do now. I watched it. Devin Harris was in his last year in the league while Luka was in his rookie year, and Luka had some punch downs on top of dudes, and he would never do that now. But like, if Luka could just put down the beer bottle and just have a little bit more discipline with his God-given ability and obviously the skill and the hard work he's built over the years with how slow the game comes to him and his feel for the game and his ability, he should be the best player in the league. But they're probably going to lose it in 5 or 6 games to the Timberwolves. But I'm telling you, if Luka just could have a little bit more discipline, he would be unstoppable. But talking about a legend and a team being too loyal to a legend, like, I like the Bucks to be loyal to Giannis. Like, I think it's just a beautiful thing having a guy who loves the franchise, loves the community, loves the city, and then, vice versa. Like, the community loves him back. I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I love to see Giannis stick around. But if you guys, please, anyone watching this right now, if you want to go back in time and see too much loyalty to a player, look at the Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki, he had that 2011 NBA championship, and he got old quickly after that. Like, I don't even know if they made the playoffs in 12-13. They won in 2011. I don't remember what they did 11-12, but I remember they didn't make the playoffs in 2013. And that was like not too long after Dirk went on his tear. But Dirk Nowitzki started in like 2015, 16. Oh my gosh, the dude was slow as molasses. Like, my dad, who's 57 now. So he would beat a 40-year-old Dirk in a race easy. With my dad has aged tremendously. He would house 40-year-old Dirk in a sprint. No 57-year-old man should beat a 40. It should be an NBA player. But Dirk was that slow. He was terrible. And the Mavericks kept him around for probably 3 or 4 years, and he was totally over the hill and let things flow through him. And it was just the most bizarre and ugly thing. So that's the exact opposite. So I would like the Bucks to be loyal to Giannis, but just don't go as far as the Mavericks did with Dirk Nowitzki when the dude was toast and they were still dragging his corpse out on the court. Like, he looked like a newborn giraffe when he was running out there.
I think that what Badger Man's asking is, number one pick. So I've been thinking about it, but if you could trade Giannis for Cooper Flag, would you do it?
Yes. But I would like loyalty, though. I would like loyalty.
Yeah.
But Cooper Flag, I'm telling you, he's the real deal. That guy, I heard all the hype, and it took me a minute to see like how good Cooper Flag was. I just didn't watch him. Life's busy, But when I finally sat down and watched him, I was like, holy cow. Cooper Flag is as good as advertised. Cooper Flag is the real deal. What's so amazing, we're talking about how basketball and college basketball, it's a grown man's game. Cooper Flag should have been a senior in high school this year. He was playing at the beginning of the year at 17 years old and busting dudes' asses. Like, Cooper Flag, my gosh, the fact he did that at 18, and they probably should have won that game against Houston with how good he was at 18. Man, I'm not a Duke guy at all. Any Badger fan is not a Duke guy, but I'm telling you, I would have loved if Cooper Flag came back. I mean, just the media buzz, just how good that would have been for college basketball. I wish he would have came back, but Cooper Flag is that good. He's that good. He's special.
Yeah. He's the real deal, and he's only going to get better. He's still got to grow into his body, and he still is going to develop his game even more. I mean, he can do it all. He really can. He can pass, shoot, rebound, play defense, and you know what? He's got a really good attitude. And
he does.
Sometimes that's hard to find in today's NBA. He's a competitor. He wants to beat you, and he's got the total package. So wherever he goes, probably Charlotte, he's gonna be a superstar. I truly believe that. So I
feel bad that he's going to Charlotte, though. Like, can you believe what Charlotte's done?
Gosh.
So LaMelo Ball is one of the most immature dudes you'll ever find. The dude has been I watched there's a reality show. I'm not sure if you ever watched it with the Ball family, but it's called Ball and the Family, and it was a reality show following them behind the scenes. Like, Lonzo was always mature. Jello was just kind of reserved and quiet. He made a hit song, and gosh, somehow he got paid for that. Like, he's a one-hit wonder. He's never making a hit again. But then LaMelo Ball was always a problem child. Not that he was like maliciously doing anything, but he's just a squirrely kid, and he's still squirrely, and he's just not. Sometimes he's not the brightest bulb. Like, I saw a video of him leaving the arena once, and he's just driving all over the place. Like, he looked like Rocky Balboa when Rocky was trying to drive in the movies. But LaMelo Ball is a squirrely, goofy, immature kid, and the Charlotte Hornets surround him with Miles Bridges, with Bulk Knight, who was found sleeping in a car with a firearm right next to him, got arrested. Like, they have a prison squad in Charlotte, and that's who they, instead of putting LaMelo Ball with a bunch of 30-year-old vets or even 35-year-olds, they're surrounding him with guys who they just shouldn't surround him with. So I always thought that was amazing. So yeah, I kind of do feel bad if Cooper Flag has to go to Charlotte. Like, they're just a disaster. And something I really didn't like about LaMelo Ball is James Borrego, their old coach. He was an assistant for the Spurs. James Borrego, he could coach, man. Like, he could really coach. I didn't like him because he didn't play Frank Kaminsky when Frank was in his prime, and he was actually pretty good at that point. And he, for some reason, was benching him, and he wouldn't play him, even though Frank could clearly help that squad. And I was like, okay, screw this guy. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, James Borrego, he holds his players accountable, and he can coach. Like, and Borrego had the stones not to be kissing LaMelo or any young guy's ass. Like, he made him earn it the old fashioned. He made him earn it. And LaMelo Ball and the others threw a fit because this coach showed them some discipline and they got him fired. So Charlotte did that to themselves. Not sure if you have any follow-up thoughts there.
Best thing to ever happen to Charlotte is Eric Collins. I don't know if you know the play-by-play for the Hornets.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's electric. He's the best in the NBA. I mean, every time I see clips, I just get so pumped up because he just does some crazy announcing, which brings the only light to Charlotte basketball, unfortunately, at this moment. But
well, there's lights. There's police lights. There's police lights with the Charlotte Hornets basketball team. But that's about it. So, yeah, man. So I think unless there's anything else I can think of off the top of my head, we'll be doing more of this. I think this was a successful first one. I think this has a potential to be really, really fun on this channel and entertaining. And then keep an eye out for lives. Every now and then, Tyler and I go live playing one-on-one. Tyler's a good hooper. Maybe we'll go 2-on-2. We'll team up. Tyler and I have a very good record together teaming up. So maybe we'll team up eventually on the channel. Maybe we'll see what we can do. But trying to think if there's anything else. Anybody have a comment or anything? We can talk about that. But otherwise, I think we talked about a lot and had a really good conversation. But I don't know if there's much more to talk about. So I'll give you guys an opportunity to leave a comment about any questions, anything for us to talk about. But the last thing I want to end these with, and I kind of made this, I formerly was Sports Chat with Matt. Like, that was my channel. Now I'm just go by my name, Matt Michaels, more of an individual, because I want to expand outside the world of sports. I want to talk mostly sports. But if I want to talk about something else, I want to have an interesting guest that I find interesting. I want to be able to bring them on and not have them feel weird about coming on like a sports podcast. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. I want to end this with something more substantive, and I got to find like a name for this final segment. But I saw like talk shows in the past, or like broadcast shows on the news and stuff, where they would end with like a little word of wisdom. And I'm not saying I'm someone you should be taking life advice from, but I think I can give you some practical advice. And I'm going to try doing this after every live where I share something that I find practical. So this one, the first one, I had a good conversation with my buddy Mike the other day. So this is simple, but make sure you root for your friends to succeed, your friends and your family, because I truly believe if you're not rooting for your friends and family, or vice versa, if you can feel them not rooting for you, that is a toxic thing, especially your friends. Like your family, that should be a given, right? That should be a given. But I truly believe, like, you're not a friend if you don't want to see your friends succeed. And likewise, like, if you feel that energy, like, or your friend is like sabotaging you, or your friend has some weird energy towards your successes, or you pursuing things, like, I wouldn't ignore that. I would take note of that, and I would take note of that, and just, maybe if they feel that energy, you feel them not rooting for you, you feel them not in your corner, then maybe you should pull away from them a little bit, or address it. But that's kind of my words of wisdom, my practical words of wisdom. I'll find a name for this segment, but the big thing is root for your friends to succeed, and hopefully you have friends around you that want to see you succeed. So that's the first one. I'll have more. We have Big Frankie leaving a comment. Signed in late. Looking forward to the next live. Good sign off with wisdom. Yep, I got you covered. You don't have to take it, but I think that's pretty practical advice. Don't you think, Tyler? Like, friends should want friends to succeed.
I agree 100%. Everybody needs support. I forgot, there was a Robin Williams quote. You don't know, what people are battling. We all put on a face. No one knows what we're really battling from day to day. Everybody has a problem going on in their lives, and it's not hard, but one act of kindness per day. It's effortless, and it spreads like a wildfire. So be more kind and support each other, and it's contagious. So.
Yeah, and I made a video talking about like Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I feel like that's like the classic thing, like their toxic like rivalry, and where Logan isn't supporting like his brother, and you can just sense the animosity and the weird energy he has, where he's not rooting for his own blood to succeed. Like, you can tell he kind of wants to see his brother fall on his face. Don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. That's kind of the advice. And I made a little video about it. If you want to go check that out, in my opinion, is a pretty solid video. But that's the end of this live. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and we will be back with more of these. But we're signing off. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Good night.
Dude. All right,